what do we do if we get an unemployment benefit claim or wage dispute? And so if you've got an employee who was behaving poorly, then you have hopefully a written a paper trail, either electronic or printed, that says, okay, here's our expectations, here was the employee's behavior, here's what we did to try to coach the employee up, and all of our efforts failed, or maybe in the extreme case, the employee was stealing from the company or whatever. And so usually when we see wage disputes, it goes with a termination that they say was wrongful. When we see unemployment benefit claims, there's really two kinds. If companies lay off employees that were really fine, but they just couldn't afford them anymore, then unemployment will kick in and you're going to have to pay it. But if you let go people for cause, then you don't have to keep paying them when you let them go. But you're going to need a paper trail. But in each of these situations, what happens is the terminated employee makes a dispute with the regulatory agency, and it is an agency. It is not like the lawyer, is not the police or anything like that. And the agency will ask them to fill out a form and provide details. Maybe there'll be a letter, maybe there'll be a spreadsheet or something like that. And they'll send it to you, the business owner, and say, okay, you've got a dispute. Here's what they're saying. And then you have to reply. And they don't usually give you a ton of time to reply. And so, first of all, I want you to know that you can call me. You should call me because I see a lot of people goof these up. And it is not necessary to call me, but it is a good idea to call me. And then what happens is I will ask you to go through the process. I want to know all of the situation. I want to know the history. I want to see what things you have documented. If there was stuff that happened that wasn't documented, I want you to document it now. If he mouthed off to his manager, get the manager to write a letter saying this is what happened. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fill out this form that the agency gave us, make a letter, because they give you like this teeny tiny little box to write the details in. Don't do it. Just say see attached. Write a letter, and then we're going to be thorough. And by letting me review and help you write that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your brain dump and I'm going to refine it. I'm going to delete out things that could be unclear or that might make you look bad. I'm going to make sure that it's very factual, and we're not going to lie. That's absolutely not a good idea. We're not going to lie, but oftentimes I'll see people blab on and they just say too much, and that looks bad. So we'll trim it up. We'll make it professional. We'll make it clear. Sometimes people will say, "Well, he did this," but then it's not clear. Who was he? Was he the manager? Was he the employee? Who was that? And so we'll just clean it up for you. Then we send it back. Oftentimes we see that these things work out in the employer's behavior. Here's when they work out in your behavior: when you've got good documentation, saying here's what went wrong, here's what we tried to do to fix it, here's what happened when we tried, we terminated them for this reason. Those tend to work out well. Wage claim disputes are a little bit different. Wage claim disputes are very serious in Iowa. Iowa and many other states will put a heavy penalty on the employer for withholding wages. And so you do want to take wage claim disputes very seriously. You should call me for those or another attorney. Wage claim disputes are a big deal, but the process is the same. I just want to remind you, subscribe so that you get to see our future announcements. Thank you so much. See you again in 2 weeks.